Welcome back everyone, I'm K Plays Games, this is EVE Online, and today we're going to pick up where we left off and we're going to run some more level 3 missions in some cheap, low skill, alpha friendly Tech 1 cruisers. And today we're going to be doing level 3 missions in a Caracal and a MOA for the Caldari State. First off, we're going to be using this Caracal, and this is a heavy missile launcher, passive shield tanked, classic long range Caracal. I don't see us having any problems here, so let's find out if that's going to be the case. First mission is the Seven's prison facility. Again, there is no badge, but I can tell you the 7 are mercenaries, so you really want to be firing kinetic. We have Scourge heavy missiles, which are kinetic, so that's fantastic. We're being paid 144,000 ISK and 556 loyalty points for completing this mission, and if you complete it within 1 hour and 32 minutes, we will be given another 168,000 ISK. 1 hour 32 tells you the game thinks it's quite easy, so let's find out if that's true. So let's warp to the mission and see what we find. I believe this ship is completely camp stable. Oh yeah, of course it is, it's a passive tank ship, so we'll just turn on the shield hardeners, because why not, we can afford to be lazy. They and the afterburner are the only things in the whole fit that burn any capacitor at all. Okay, we have arrived at an open pocket, and we have 2 cruisers, 3 frigates, 3 gun turrets, and a structure which is remarkably marked as a Dead Space Overseer's structure. There it is, right click, Dead Space Overseer's structure. This is how all mission structures should be labelled, in my opinion, so you can find them nice and easily. We do only have 2 light drones, so I'm going to spit them out. They can go and play with the frigates. I'm going to kill the cruisers with my heavy missiles. Being passive tanked, we only need to worry if our shield goes below 50%. Well, we need to pay attention when we go below 50. We need to start worrying if it goes below 33, but I think we'll be fine. Right, that's 1 ship dead. Let's just kill the other one. Heavy missiles don't do an awful amount of damage. They don't apply it particularly well, to small targets at least, but against cruisers they'll be fine. There you go, solid triple figures. The drones have killed a frigate, and now apparently they've decided to kill a cruiser. No, drones, come back, kill this 7 grunt. It is only 2 light drones. They're probably doing like, what, 20 DPS, something like that, but it works. Well, apparently the mission has flagged itself complete when that 2nd cruiser died, but I don't think that's true. I think we need to kill the prison as well. All the drones have killed that grunt, and now they're ignoring the other frigate, so we'll just remind them what they're supposed to be doing. Let's just approach the prison, because it may drop some loot for us. Our missile range is 94 kilometers, purely based on my skills. We have no missile guidance enhancers or missile guidance computers. This is purely skills based, because the Caracal has 10% bonus to heavy missile max velocity. That's speed of the missiles, so that's range. Obviously I have maximum skills, so I get 50% bonus to the speed of my missiles, which is why they fly 94 kilometers. Looks like the drones are going to get rid of all 3 frigates in this mission. Well done, little drones. And the prison has just absolutely melted. Let's have a look what it dropped. The drones have finally killed the 3rd frigate, and it's dropped some elite slaves, which do have a skull icon for legality. So if we put these in our cargo and try and move around anywhere in Galanti, Minmatar or Caldari State, we'll lose some money, we'll lose some standings with the factions, so I'm just going to leave them where they are. That was the first of today's level 3 missions.
Drive active.
Very easy. We're back with the agent, and he's given us another mission. This is Pirate Invasion. Neutralise the entire enemy force and halt their sneak attack. This does have a badge. It's against Serpentis. That's great. Serpentis are weakest to kinetic, and we fire kinetic. Well, being a missile ship, strictly speaking, we can fire anything we want. We just load different missiles in. And the good thing about the Caracal is that it is not just give bonuses to any one damage type, unlike some other Caldari missile ships. Some other Caldari missile ships give you bonuses to kinetic only, but the Caracal gives you bonus to the missile launcher's rate of fire instead of the specific damage type. But we'll be using Scourge because that's the best thing to use, which is nice. And we're being paid 526,000 ISK and 1,463 loyalty points, with an additional 530,000 ISK if we complete the mission within 4 hours 2 minutes. 4 hours 2 tells you the game thinks it's relatively difficult, so let's go and have some fun with this apprentice. Okay, there is an acceleration gate here, but there is also a welcoming committee of 7 frigates, including 2 Caracal Guardians. Now, Guardian means elite, which usually means warp jam. And it also means they'll aggressor drones, which is rather annoying. So I'm going to try and kill these guys with the heavy missiles. Might not work all that well. Spit out the little drones. They'll have a go. Again, the missiles are only hitting for 43 because these are very small, very fast targets. And if you know anything about missiles in EVE Online, you'll know that missiles always hit if they're in range, and then there's a very complicated damage application formula which looks at the missile explosion radius versus the target's signature radius and the missile explosion velocity versus the target's velocity. So what you want is smaller, faster explosions, but we seem to be dealing with them just fine. That is why when we shoot at frigates, we're only doing, well, the elite frigates, we were only doing like 43 damage. And when we're shooting at these ones, we do a lot more. And when we shoot at cruisers, you'll see we'll be doing solidly 3 figures. Right, room 0.5, done.
Warp drive active.
On to the next room. Okay, that's quite a lot of enemies and another acceleration gate. Let's target lock the destroyers first. These ones are outside our target lock range, so we'll just shoot at these, wake them up, try and aggress. I think maybe this entire front group will aggress all at the same time. Then the ones at the back, maybe. Yeah, that seems to be what's happening. But that's okay, we can deal with that. I'm going to put 1 missile on each of these frigates because they're very far away. I'm not going to bother moving until I have to, because why risk coming up here and waking up this battle cruiser when we don't need to? We'll just chill out here and snipe. Then this is a classic fit for a reason, because it works. It's not flashy. It's not particularly high damage, but it does kill things from a very long way away. What is our targeting range on this ship? 71. I suppose you could, if you wanted, change one of the rigs out for an ionic field extender, which will extend the targeting range all the way out to the 94 kilometres that the missiles reach out to. Well, we've killed all the frigates without moving, and now we're going to kill these 2 cruisers. There you go, solidly like 149, 151, 160, just smashing them. Easy peasy. I'm going to approach acceleration gate because it is 60 kilometres away. We need to actually get there at some point, so let's move. This is not the fastest ship. 685 metres a second is fast enough. There we go. And we'll kill this guy. I'm just going to target lock the battle cruiser. As you know from previous experience, battle cruisers are actually quite easy to kill because they're very large and very slow, so they take an awful lot of damage. Have a look, this cruiser is taking basically 183 damage all the time. Now it's gone up to 247 because it's in hull. And I'm expecting the battle cruiser will take even more damage. Yep, 173 on the shields. I'm expecting 190 to 200s on the armour. Let's have a look. Next volley will get through its armour. Nope, just 173s. And it died. No, it didn't. We've been sensor damped, so we lost lock. That's a little bit annoying. And now we've woken up the whole room. It's a little bit scary. Let's put the drones out. Okay, we need to not approach the gate anymore.
Run out of charges.
Drones need to go and get rid of all these frigates. As my missiles reload. I was not expecting the whole rest of the room to aggress. That could be a little bit dangerous, but I'm sure we'll be fine. As long as we keep moving at high speed, we'll be okay. Even though, of course, we do have shield extenders which are ballooning our signature radius, which makes us easier to hit and take more damage from missiles. But I think our speed is making everything miss, because it looks like everything is firing blue, which means they're firing railguns. Railguns being a blue effect, of course. Little drones are slowly chewing their way through a destroyer. Once we've killed the next cruiser, I'm probably going to kill the other two destroyers with my missiles. And let the drones kill the frigates. There we go. Lovely. Now I'll switch back to cruisers for myself and my missiles. I'm just going to reapproach the acceleration gate. Now just double click somewhere near it. So I don't want to reach the acceleration gate then come to a halt. Drones are having fun. One more cruiser to go. And mostly everything is missing us. Just going to bring the ship to a halt, because we don't need to be moving anymore. Now, we may only have 2 Tech 1 light drones, but they are getting business done. But they can come back now, because we are going to missile that guy. And there he goes. Okay, room 3. Reload the weapons on the way in. So far, shields never been in danger. Okay, lots and lots and lots here. I kind of want to go and double click backwards and get rid of all these little things down here. Okay, there are more Caracal Guardians who are elite and may warp, jam and web. They have slightly higher resistance. They're not like level 4 elite. At level 4, Caracal Guardians have ridiculously high resistances. But these guys seem to be okay. They may aggress our drones. Okay, now we're webbed. Let's spit out the drones. And they can go and chew in the Guardians. Just bring the ship to a halt. We don't need to be that far away from these cruisers. I'm thinking and hoping that this lot of cruisers here will aggress differently from the big lot at the back, which has 2 battle cruisers, it looks like. Okay, the drones are being shot by the Guardian frigates, so we'll just bring the drones back. They'll be fine. Put the drones back out. They can add their measly DPS to getting rid of this last ship, because he's being annoying with his slightly higher resistances, high speed and very small size. There it goes. Good. Right. Let's try and kill these things in order of bounty payment, smallest to largest, because a cheap bounty like this Caracal Chief Scout leads me to believe it's going to be relatively easy to kill. Yeah, that would be a yes. 1 volley's down to half armour. Bam, dead. 74, 62. Looks like the safeguards are the next things I want to shoot at. And they're attempting to do that. They are indeed sensor dampening us, which is a little bit annoying. But we'll power through. Add the drones. Tiny amount of DPS. Because why not? Let's get rid of the spies next, because they're cheap. 43,000 bounty. And they're all on yellow box because they're not shooting at the drones. They are target locked me. Usually yellow box means they've only got your target locked, so they may be shooting at the drones, but I'm not seeing the drones taking any damage. And that informs me that these things very probably have blasters and they're on direct approach. Yeah, these models are blasters. So they've got me target locked. They're approaching me in a straight line, which means they're very easy to hit. Not that missiles really care about that. The drones are struggling to kill this guy. I knew they would. 2 light drones versus cruiser. They're not really adding much. But in conjunction with the missiles, they do just fine. We're about to run out of ammo again. There we go.
A module has run out of charges.
And the big group at the back hasn't joined the party yet, which is great. There are 2 battle cruisers, 3 battle cruisers at the back. So I'll just preemptively lock them, because they'll be the next things we go for. A, because they're very easy to kill, and B, because if you don't kill them, battle cruisers can put the hurt on you quite significantly. Okay, this cruiser is close enough to go red box now, which means he's actually firing his blasters at us. That's the yellow shooting. Blue from this one because he's railgun, that's why he's orbiting at 25 kilometers. Yellow from this one because he's blasters, and that's why he's orbiting us at 5,000 meters. I'm just gonna start shooting at the battle cruisers from here. The drones can slowly chip away at that cruiser. Caracal with long range and passive shield is just very chill. You just kind of hang out and flip missiles at things from a million miles away. Did that battlecruiser die? No, we just lost target lock. Right. In that case, I shall shoot at the cruiser that the drones are struggling to kill. To combat sensor dampening, you can, again, fit a long-range targeting rig. Or you can try and fit a signal amplifier in a low power slot or a sensor booster in a mid power slot. They will also increase your target lock time as well as the target lock distance. Right, I'm just going to double click towards a slot because they're beginning to annoy me with this sensor dampening nonsense. Right, you can just die, my friend. Okay. As soon as we've established lock back on the battle cruisers, I'll just stop shooting at the cruiser and finish off the battle cruisers. Because again, if we let them get too close, they can put the hurt on us. Okay, one's red box, 2 are yellow box. Definitely don't want blaster armed battle cruisers to get into range, so we'll just knock them down. Not overly concerned about blaster firing cruisers all that much. As long as nothing has a web and slows us down, we'll be fine. There we go. May as well put the drones out for all the good they're going to do. Everything's now red box because we've come too close. They're not firing their blasters, but because we're fast, they're all missing. Even if they don't miss, we do have 7,000 shield for them to chew on. And if our shield goes down to 33%, it will be regenerating at about 35 hit points a second, which is pretty much the same as a medium shield booster does when it's running permanently, so I'm sure we'll be fine. We've got 2 shield hardeners, so resistances are really quite good at 55 and 66. Because these guys all fire various ratios of thermal and kinetic. We've run out of ammo again. I don't think our shield has been below like 80% in either of the missions we've done. It's at 91% at the moment. I'm just going to bring the ship to halt because we can just perma-tank these guys. Not a problem. And we are done.
Warp drive active.
No problem at all. Right, let's complete that mission. There we go, easy peasy. Let's switch ships to the Moa. We've done 2 level 3 missions in the Caracal, so now it's time for someone else to have a go. And this Moa may be a little bit more clutch, because this is a high-speed blaster web fit, but it's still only passive shield, and that makes me nervous. That means we're going to have to get up close. And the only resistances we have are from the rigs and from the natural resistances of the ship, which are 4% bonus to all shield resists per level of Caldari cruiser skill. I have level 5, so we get an extra 20% from that. 44, 56, 52 and 60. Not terrible, not great. And we are going to have to get up at point blank range. As we see, modal ion particle accelerator fall off range is 6,875 meters. So we're going to be fighting literally at point blank range. And the problem that means is that we're going to have the micro warp drive running pretty much all the time to get from target to target. And that is going to balloon our signature radius by 450%. And we have 2 large shield extenders which are also ballooning our signature radius by another 15 meters. So to enemies, our signature radius is 988 meters. That's quite big. Compare that to the Caracal, which is only 192. So yeah, we're going to have to make good target selection decisions here. We do at least have 1 more drone than the Caracal had, so the drones should be okay for taking out destroyers and frigates, which should let us deal with the cruisers ourselves. But we're going to have to be a little bit smart with this, so let's get a mission. Okay, this is Retribution. Destroy the Angel Cartel outpost and report back to your agent. As you can tell from the badge and the name, this is indeed against the Angel Cartel. They are weakest to explosives, second weakest to kinetic. We always do a mix of kinetic and thermal, so we'll be okay. We're being paid 245,000 ISK for doing this and 873 loyalty points, with a further 221,000 ISK if we complete the mission within 2 hours and 24 minutes. 2 hours 24 tells you the game thinks this is a relatively mediocre level 3 mission, so let's accept. And do some banzai charging in a Moa. This could be a thing.
Warp drive active.
As we said, the resistances are not huge, so we're going to have to rely on the speed of 1560 meters a second to keep us safe. And we are going to have to be at literal point blank range. What is our default orbit? 6,000. Let's put that down to 5,000 meters. In fact, let's put that all the way down to 4. I want to orbit things at 4 kilometers. It may not actually orbit at 4, it just attempts to orbit at 4. And the tighter the orbit, this ship will actually slow down to match the orbit. So you don't want your orbits too tight.
Warp drive active.
Otherwise you'll slow down and the micro warp drive won't actually be doing anything. Okay, let's see. Okay. There looks like 4 groups of enemies. I'm going to head directly down and go for this lot first. Micro warp drive on. Some frigates and cruisers up here. Battle cruiser at the back. Okay. Here we go. Let's just... Okay, someone's shooting missiles at me. I don't like that. That's Centurion, so let's shoot him first. Yeah, we're missing because we're slightly too fast. I'm going to turn the micro warp drive off. Yeah, we kind of slingshotted ourselves past it. I'm turning the micro warp drive off because I don't want to slingshot things, and because when it's not running, it's not ballooning our signature radius. So our signature radius has dropped from 988 meters all the way down to 186, which is fine by me. Right, let's do this one next. So it's micro warp drive on until we're in orbit, and then turn it off. Whether or not that's better than being fast, unsure. We were slowly spiralling in, but too slow, so I did another squirter micro warp drive just to get us into proper range. There we go. Yeah, this is quite slow. We're just slowly grinding things down, and we're on like 71% shield, and we've only killed one cruiser so far. Not great. And this cruiser seems to be faster than us because he seems to be pulling away, even though he's webbed. That's also not great. I'm just going to have to directly approach, I think. Put the angular velocity down to almost 0. So we'll hit each other much better, just like that. And hopefully I'll win the DPS race, which of course we did. Right, the ship fit is not fantastic, but we knew that. It's an alternate fit. We made it deliberately just to be different, and it certainly is that. Okay, let's try and establish an orbit at 4,000 kilometers, shall we? 4,000 meters, I should say. Still too many misses until we actually establish the orbit path. And then it's kind of okay. Not fantastic. Right. Let's get up here. I'm going to spit the drones out. They can go and play with the frigates. I really want to have a go at the Gistum Breaker first because it's the lower bounty, and that leads me to believe it should be slightly easier to kill. I'm going to group the weapons as well, because we're not going to be splitting fire in this mission. Well, the drones are doing drone things, that's good. Shields are going back up, 84%. Okay, looks like the cruisers are trying to shoot my drones. So we'll bring them back in. It's good, we got rid of one cruiser, and we're just going to directly approach the next one. Because we are absolutely point blank, I mean the optimal range is like less than 2 kilometers, so I'm just going to literally fight at 0. I'm not even going to try and orbit. Bam, dead. Okay, let's just go for the battle cruiser at the back. Why not? Let's just go for it. Spit out the droneses. The drones can go and play with the frigates. On you go. And I'm going to try and blaster this cruiser. Okay, the frigates have all red boxed me, that's fine. Ow, rockets. Not a fan of enemies who have missiles because they always hit. And we're webbed. That's not great. But we managed to grab the battlecruiser before we got webbed. So it shouldn't be able to escape. It's going to be slower and bigger than us anyway. And we'll just grind it down. Yeah, taking off big chunks. And one dead battlecruiser. Right, let's start webbing the frigates and approaching them. Even though they have us webbed and will be trying to pull away from us. Go, micro warp drive, go. Overcome the power of their webs. If you can. Man, even with the micro warp bomb, we're only going at 400, but we are closing the range, which means we're going to be hitting it nice and solid. Drones have almost killed one of them. Come on, drones. Let's lock target on the Angel outpost. The Angel outpost, of course, is not being marked properly as a Dead Space Overseer structure. It is probably a large collidable structure, so we'll turn them on the overview. There's not too many things in this mission, but we've seen it in other missions. When we turn large collidable structure on in the overview, you just get a huge long list of absolute nonsense. Alright, let's approach the outpost. Bring the drones back. Stop the ship and kill the outpost. And then we'll go and kill all the other ships. Well, they've all aggressed me, so that's good. That wasn't even sarcasm, it is good. I want them to aggress and approach me. Oh, these little hijackers, they're only worth 3,000 ISK. Our little drones will kill them in no time. I think drones can go and play with the frigates. I've killed the outpost. I didn't drop a cargo can, that's a little bit annoying. We need to reload our guns, turn the micro warp drive on. That looks like the cruisers are all really cheap as well. Okay. It's a large group, it's just not very high quality. And I am fine with that. I mean, the drones are just massacring them. And the drones are gone idle because nothing's actually red boxing me. Okay, let's get rid of the deprecators. Okay, I thought this mission was going to be harder than it was. The ship is not easy to use. Because it's a little bit too fast. I mean, basically because we're using ions. I mean, it would be even worse if we were using electrons, but it seems to work best when we approach things. If we try and orbit them, then we miss too much with the guns. But it seems to work fine. I mean, shields went to about 70% and then recovered, so not a huge issue. Happy days.
Warp drive active.
Well, let's get out of here. Right, that's that mission done. Let's get another one. Rogue drone harassment. As you can imagine, this is against rogue drones who are weakest to EM and thermal. We do a mix of kinetic and thermal, so we'll be able to damage them. We're being paid 308,000 ISK and 952 loyalty points for completing this mission, with a further 327,000 if we complete it within 2 hours 36. 2 hours 36 is pretty much the same as the last mission, so it's probably going to be about the same difficulty. So let's accept and find out if that's true. Okay, let's see where we get placed on this mission. Is it going to be an open pocket? Nope, it's an acceleration gate. We've got at least one room then. Are we going to bounce off the gate? Looks like it. Yep.
Warp drive active.
Okay, so let's take the lessons we learned in the previous mission and apply them in this one. Orbiting doesn't seem to work very well with this ship. Even when it's got things webbed, it's missing quite a lot. Okay, we have lots of drones and an acceleration gate. Let's zoom out. Okay, looks like 4 groups of drones, so let's go for this lot first. Let's approach them. As soon as we get into the middle of them, micro warp drive off, web on. Micro warp drive off. A, so we don't slingshot right past them, and B, to reduce our signature radius so we take a little bit less damage. That's one down, that's great. Next one. Little bit of a high risk fit. I mean, approaching things directly is not normally something you want to do, but we deal so much damage that it seems to be working. We're doing what? Only 373 damage, but It seems to be enough. Things are just melting straight away. Great big chunks coming up. I mean, that's just awesome. Right, where is the next group? This lot. Let's go straight up. Micro warp drive back on. Even though the fit is stable with a micro warp drive running, we don't really need it. I may be tempted, possibly, to remove either the cat power relay. Yeah, maybe tempted to remove that and replace it with a tracking enhancer. Just to push the tracking and range up a tiny bit more. Tracking's far more important than range. For obvious reasons. I mean, increasing the range of blasters by a few percent is only going to give you a few meters extra range, which is not a large consideration. Because we know that we turn the micro warp drive off quite often, so we don't really need it to be cap stable with it on. Probably would need to maintain the medium battery, although maybe not. That could be something we experiment with. If I was to be using this for level 3 missions all the time, I might experiment with that. See if we can remove one of these two cap modules and replace it with a tracking module of some description. Tracking computer would obviously be great. You can script it with a tracking speed script. Right, cool. Let's go for this next group, because we seem to have ended the fight for the previous group right next to this group. So let's go for them. I'm going to put out the drones. They can go and kill the frigates. Strain is the name for elite drones, so this little drone may try and kill our drones, or it may web us. It has webbed us, but that's okay. And it may warp jam as well, but it doesn't look like it has any intention of warp jamming us, otherwise it would have done so already. Drones, don't kill the cruiser, go and kill that little frigate. Now the Strain hasn't dropped aggro on the drones quite yet. We're just going to approach it and line it up with the web and the blasters. Okay, we're bouncing off this scenery, so let's just double click away from the scenery. Give ourselves a squirter micro warp drive just to move us off. There we go. Right, bring the drones back. They don't need to be out anymore. Reload the guns, because hybrid weapons reload in just 5 seconds, which is lovely. And we'll approach the final group of this room. Pretty chill. We're in range, micro warp off, web on, guns on, and just grind them down. Again, we missed as we approached because we were going too fast. Again, that's because of tracking. Even though the enemy is slowed down by, what, 50 something percent? 55%. We still missed because we were too fast. Just going to give one more squirter micro warp drive. We're a little bit too far away from this guy. I'd rather be pretty much at point blank. There we go, that's better. Whoop. Overshot. But we're still in range. And he's dead. Right, let's take the gate. Yeah, this seems to work fine. Once I got used to the quirks of how to use it.
Warp drive active.
And final room, because there's no more acceleration gates. Okay, what have we got here? Ooh, one big group in the middle. This guy, for some reason, all the way out on his own, so let's go for him first. And then a single battle cruiser and another cruiser out there. No, okay, everything's aggressed, that's not great. But we shall survive. Let's put the drones out. they can help us here. Not a fan of everything aggressing. That's not great. Because we know we're going to have to dive into the middle of that big ball of bad guys, and that makes me slightly nervous. They're all like 50,000 bounty and above as well. Right. Let's do this. Do or die, baby. Banzai time. Looks like a lot of them are firing beam lasers, so when we get up close, we should be okay, I think. And we're going to have to micro warp drive from target to target, I think. Okay, maybe 2 cycles. Yeah, shield's not overly happy. But this is how we have to be. Devastator will be the next target. Go, 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 go. Micro warp drive because we're too far away. Okay, now that the other group at the back have aggressed, because I can see the battlecruiser has gone red box as well. Not a happy place to be. But we do seem to be grinding them down okay. We are removing enough DPS from the field. We're winning the DPS race. There we go. Boom, bang, bong, done. Next, we're a little bit too far away. One more squirt of micro warp. That Devastator album will be next. Go drones, go. Micro warp on. Get into range. We haven't quite hit half shields. So that's something, I suppose. Half shields would be bad. 35% would be panic stations. But we seem to have stabilised around 60 odd. Right, micro warp drive off to make ourselves a smaller target. And to stop ourselves slingshotting right past the target. Next. Luckily, we haven't been bouncing off any of this extensive terrain, which has been another saving grace of this mission. And luckily, there's been no reinforcement spawns either, which is another good thing. Apparently that's mission over. But of course we're going to kill everything because why not? Right, just the battlecruiser to go. So let's go and kill it. I'm expecting this thing to just melt. Yeah, he's just disappearing at a great rate of knots. I'm going to bring the drones back because he's going to blow up from the blasters very quickly. There we go. Mission complete.
Warp drive active.
You know, you could remove both of the capacitor modules. You do only get 2 minutes 40, but when did we ever need the micro warp drive to be on for 2 minutes 40? So you could do that and that. Then you could get a tracking computer on like that. Put a tracking speed script in it. Then, strictly speaking, you can do a third compact stabilizer to push the DPS up from 373 to 407. So at 34 more DPS. Or of course you can do another tracking enhancer just to increase the tracking even more.
Docking request
up to 74.31 from 52.8 to 74. So that's something you could do because we figured out we didn't really need to be camp stable with the micro warp drive on because The micro warp drive being on all the time was actually detrimental. Nice to get from target to target, but once we got to the target, we were missing rather a lot. Or of course, you could not do a tracking computer and you could do a second web, just to really slow the enemy down. Whether or not better tracking is better than a double webbed target, that's something for you to work out on your own time, because that is the end of that mission and the end of this video. The Caldari ships worked fine. Caracal worked absolutely fine because it is the classic fit, and it's a classic fit for a reason, because it works really well. The long range is superb, but even the Banzai suicide charging Moa managed to survive. We never even got to half shields. We did have to play smart, but it worked out just great. So come back next time and we'll probably take out some Galente ships and run some level 3 missions in those. So until then, do look after yourself, and I'll talk to you again soon.